Good evening. Welcome to ZTV Live. I'm your hostess, Gina Cavallaro, and we have a great program tonight. I'm so happy to welcome Anita Carson. Anita is the Fundraising and Marketing Chair of TWIG. And if you don't know what TWIG is, you're going to find out. I think it's the TWIG, right, Anita?
That's right,
The
Gina.
TWIG. Okay. So great to see you. How are you tonight?
Well, thank you, Gina. I'm very excited to be on the show tonight. And thank you to the Zebra Press and ZTV for inviting us to share our story about TWIG and our new fundraising campaign, Together We Ignite Giving.
Well, we're gonna find out all about that tonight on the program. And I see that you're sitting in what appears to be the shop, the thrift shop in Old Town. Tell me a little bit about that.
Right, Gina. I'm so delighted to share the thrift shop with you. TWIG has a long history of fundraising, and our number one fundraiser for TWIG is the thrift shop. The thrift shop is located at 106 North Columbus Street, and we serve the Alexandria community by providing affordable clothing, jewelry, accessories, housewares, almost anything that you would buy in a retail store, we have here at the TWIG thrift shop. So it's a wonderful place for you to shop. We are open on, right now, Fridays and Saturdays. So come by the shop and visit us and look at all that we offer.
That is such great news because I'll admit right now, I'm a shopper. I've been there, and that's why I'm so excited to talk with you and all the people at the TWIG about the shop, about all your fundraising. I've donated things. I've shopped there more than once. I've gotten some great deals, I have to say. And but that's just a small piece of what the TWIG does. And I really didn't know much about the TWIG until I started finding out about your new fundraising campaign, which is TWIG. And let me see again what that means. Tell me what that means again.
Together we ignite giving.
Together we ignite giving. We're going to learn a lot more about that. But first, I'd like to see if you can take us back and explain exactly what the TWIG is, how the TWIG started.
Yeah, it's a great story, Gina, and I'm so excited to share that with you tonight. The TWIG is actually a branch of the local hospital here, Inova Alexandria Hospital. And it was founded in 1933, almost 90 years ago. We'll be celebrating 90 years in 2023. So it's a wonderful history of our organization and what we've done for our local hospital. The group was founded, as I said, in 1933 by Mrs. Julian T. Burke, and it was an effort of only 24 women in the organization that wanted to support the hospital for the sick and infirmed patients in Alexandria.
And in fact, the Women's Auxiliary, is that what it was back then too?
It was. It was always called the TWIG, the Junior Auxiliary of Alexandria Hospital.
Okay.
So we're so proud of that, and we're so proud that we were able to have this long history of not only supporting the hospital, but helping our community, and particularly in the Old Town Alexandria area, like I said, with the thrift shop. But the name TWIG, we often get asked, what does TWIG mean? Because it wasn't an acronym until recently, but what it means really is that, as I said, it's a branch of the hospital. So it's like a tree is the hospital, and we're a branch of that. There's also another auxiliary at Inova Alexandria. It's the Board of Lady Managers, and they also have a great history of raising money for the hospital. So there's the Board of Lady Managers and the Junior Auxiliary.
You know, there are these organizations that help and support the hospital the way that the TWIG does. How important is this support for the hospital? Can you give me a sense of the impact that your fundraising efforts have on the hospital?
Sure. Gina, it's remarkable. We have raised over $4.4 million for the hospital.
Wow.
And that's amazing. And there were so many different ways that we did raise funds in the past, from the 1930s all the way till today. For example, we used to have bingo nights at the Lyceum here in Old Town. We used to have June German dances. In fact, we had a dance one year where Guy Lombardi performed, which is pretty big news. And then we also had, believe it or not, we actually had a dog show to raise money for the hospital. So we've progressed throughout the years. One of the most popular fundraising efforts that we had was back in the 1930s when we were selling carnations, carnation flowers, on the streets in Old Town for only 10 cents.
Actual carnations, like the real flower?
Yes, a real
Okay.
flower. And we did that for 30 years. And so we sort of had that trademark as if you saw a carnation, that was obviously something that related to the twig. So that went on, as I said, for almost 30 years. So those are some of the first ways that we raise money. And now, of course, we have new ways of raising money, and that's what we want to talk about tonight as well.
Well, together we ignite giving. Now, tell me a little bit about that campaign. I know that this year has been a difficult year for everyone. Everyone has had to change the way they do everything. In normal times, you and I might have been sitting together instead of being on this program, but at least we have this venue to do this in. How has the TWIG adapted to the restrictions of the pandemic? Is this campaign fundraiser one of those things?
It is, in fact. And the real point of it, I'm the fundraising chair, as you said, and we have a committee of other women. We've worked together to create this campaign because there is so much need, Gina. We, of course, as I mentioned, the thrift shop is only open 2 days a week. That's very unusual for us. We're only operating at 30% capacity. Of course, we meet the safety guidelines of the CDC, and we have staff that take your temperature, and we have limit the number of customers we're allowed in the shop. So that has been jeopardized. You know, being our number one fundraiser, we have had to really try to find a new and different way to raise funds. Another event that was disappointing for us is we host the historic Alexandria Homes Tour every September, which is a self-guided walking tour in Old Town. And we sell tickets. We have sometimes 500 guests that attend that every year. And of course, like many other organizations and nonprofits, that had to be canceled. So we are not receiving that revenue that we would normally receive. So the combination of the shop being closed, we were closed for 3 months without any customers, and then the home store being canceled, we are trying our very best to work with our community, and particularly businesses and companies here in Alexandria. So we've reached out to many of the companies. For instance, one of our most loyal supporters is King's Jewelry here in Old Town.
Okay.
Land Design also made a donation to us. We have several realtors in Alexandria that support us year after year. And typically they would buy advertising in the homes tour, or they would attend special events that we hosted. And of course, that's not been possible. So we created this campaign, and using the word TWIG, TWIG, together we ignite giving. And so it's a wonderful opportunity for businesses and companies to partner with us here in Alexandria. And it's been such a popular program already because we only launched on November 15th. It's been a really great source for us that many individuals have said that they wanted to donate and have donated. So,
that's really encouraging to have partners like King's Jewelers. I mean, pardon me. Sorry, it's not COVID, I promise you. I'm just having a little dust speck or something. But, you know, King's Jewelers is very well known. You have a lot of other partners in Old Town. And what is the mechanism? How can people who are listening right now donate? You know, if they can't go to your events, but they'd really like to support the hospital, which is really what this is all about, how can they donate?
Right. So we've made it very easy. Gina, we offer a donor kit or packet. We mail to many of our past supporters, particularly the homes tour advertisers. We make phone calls, lots of phone calls. We send out emails with attachments of the program because obviously it is a challenge, particularly this year. We can't meet in person because of the COVID restrictions. So we are, doing our best to contact those supporters of the past. And also, like tonight, we want to share our story of all that we do for the hospital and all that we've given to our community in serving the community. Do you know, even with the shop being closed, as I mentioned, we serve amazing number of people that live in Old Town that don't have the ability right now. They may have been furloughed or they may have lost their jobs.
Really? So tell me, let's talk about the store for a moment, because that is the my point of entry to helping the hospital and to contributing is to go and have a good, spend a little time in the shop. But you're talking about people who come into the shop now who really might not have the income they used to. What kinds of people are you seeing in there?
Well, particularly in Old Town, the restaurant business has been very hard hit. And we receive customers that are from restaurants that are wait staff, cooks, obviously some of the other customers that we, of course, appeal to. There's even bus drivers and metro staff, even college students. It's amazing how.
Right now on the screen, we're seeing a picture of the thrift shop. It was just up a moment ago. Uh, I'm really astounded by the kinds of people that you're seeing in there that aren't normally the ones who would go in, but word must be out that that's a good place to go, that's close by.
Yeah, and it's no secret. We've actually been written up and pressed that the TWIG thrift shop is one of the greatest bargains in Virginia, not just Alexandria, but Virginia. So we are very proud that we're able to serve our community. So, you can buy a blouse for $5. You can buy a dress for $10 and a coat. We have customers here that need a coat for the winter. And so it makes it affordable for them. And we also consider it sort of like a recycle. We're very fortunate, Gina, that people drive up on donation day every August. They donate to us throughout the year, but August is our donation day that we have set aside. Okay. And we made drive up, drop off popular before COVID because you could just drive your car up and drop your donations off. So donations that are made to us, we in turn donate. We in turn, of course, sell those for a very affordable price. We freshen them up, make them look pretty, hang them up nicely. And we have an amazing thrift shop team. Jennifer Kilmer is our thrift shop chair. She and her team are terrific. There's a group of 5-6 women, and they're here every single day. And
true. Yeah, no, they're great.
They're great.
So you have a lot more than clothing, though. You have housewares, you have sports goods, you have jewelry, so you have ball gowns. There's all kinds of stuff in there. Have you bought anything in your own store?
I have. The very scarf that I'm wearing came from the thrift store, and this was $4, and I'm proud to be wearing it tonight. And we have customers that buy things that come back later and say, everything that I'm wearing, I bought at the thrift shop, down to the underwear, practically.
You've probably received some pretty strange items in your donation bags, but we won't go there. Now, I wanted to, I know we have some more photos, and I love old photos. I love stories about old photos. And tell me the story about, now I don't know how well this will show up, but there's a letter from Eleanor Roosevelt. I mean, that's a long time ago. Tell me more about that.
Yes. Well, again, one of our fundraising events that we hosted in 1940 was called Gold Rush Days. And it was a way to raise money again for the hospital. So our president at the time wrote a letter to Eleanor Roosevelt inviting her to attend. So we thought that would be a great idea to have her here, a first lady. And she wrote this letter, you see here on the screen, of course, regretting that she would not be able to attend. But I thought it was so kind of her to wish us well and success in that fundraising effort.
So, there's the letter. It's up on the screen now. That is remarkable. So she took the time to, I can't make it, but I wish you a lot of success, that kind of thing.
And I might add that letter is part of our committee that we have at TWIG. We have a very strong historic preservation committee, which is led by Janet Hawkins and her team. And in fact, Gina, in the coming years, I believe in 2022, there's going to be an exhibit that is sponsored and hosted by the Office of Historic Alexandria. And part of that project will include the history of TWIG and how we've supported the hospital. So we're very excited about that. So stay tuned. There'll be more news on that. But we do take very great stride in restoring our history and documenting it. And of course, as you can see, save items like this.
Well, it's certainly well deserved that you should be included in that. So tell me more about your homes tour. I know we talked about it a few minutes ago, but we do have a photo. And I'm embarrassed to say I've never done the homes tour, but as soon as this pandemic gets out of our lives in some way, I'm going to go check it out. What's involved in the homes tour?
So it's a great homes tour. It's an opportunity for the public. It is offered to the public where they can purchase tickets and visit 6 or 7, sometimes 8 historic homes in Old Town. It's always in Old Town Alexandria. So we actually produce a booklet, and in the booklet they have the opportunity to go from house to house. And there's some remarkable history in these homes. A lot of them, as you know, George Washington was very popular here. He's visited and stayed in some of these homes. His doctor has stayed here. So it's an array of homes. Some have been nicely modernized, in fact. So it's a way for the general public to walk through these homes and explore the history and the artifacts and the artwork and the paintings, everything that would make a home significant. And then once they tour the home, Gina, they can go out into the gardens. We've had some beautiful gardens with fountains, and it's amazing the size of the homes in Alexandria can be very small, but then their gardens are elaborate. So we had to cancel the tour this year. Unfortunately, it's held the last Saturday of every September, and it's the first time that we've had to cancel the tour. So we were disappointed, but can't wait. We're planning right now to host a homes tour or some sort of tour related to homes in 2021.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. And about how many homes are on the tour, and how do you get people to open their homes to have people like us traipsing through there?
Well, they're very generous to us, and we're fortunate because the neighborhood knows TWIG, and they are very kind to open their homes to us and allow us to come in. We do protect the homes. We have special shoe coverings. We have ways for people to walk that aren't affecting the floors, because those are historic as well, like runners that they can walk on. The tour is from 10 to 3, so it's only one day.
Okay.
And we have, like TWIGs, we all have a volunteer staff, docents, that are all of us, the same ones that work in the shop. They come to the homes tour to be docents and help with that effort. So we have a docent in every single room for security, but we also give a description of every room and what they could find in those rooms.
That's wonderful, and it speaks highly. It speaks to the credibility of the TWIG as a community neighbor, that they would open their homes to you. So, congratulations on that very successful fundraising. Now, you've done some other things too. You've done a cookbook. You've done like a flash mob. Do you still do flash mobs?
Well, we did a flash mob over the last couple of years. Unfortunately, we were not able to do it this year because of COVID, but we are very dedicated to supporting the nurses at Inova Alexandria. And in fact, TWIG issues a nursing scholarship every year. We gave a $10,000 scholarship even this year to a deserving nurse, and it's to advance their career, advance their education. So we're devoted to the nurses. So what do? We show our appreciation. We go to the hospital with 25 or 26 floral arrangements that are made by our TWIGs, and we present them at every single nurse's station at the hospital.
That is wonderful. I'm looking at the photo right now. It's beautiful. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great way for us to show our appreciation, because if I could just take a moment to say, we all know that COVID has hit this country so hard, that the nursing staff and the personnel and the doctors, physicians, everyone at hospitals, of course, we want to honor them and to appreciate what they're doing during this pandemic. And we couldn't do enough to show our appreciation. I'm sorry that we can't do the flash mob this year. We weren't able to do it, but we hope to continue that in 2021, because it really is about the staff and what they do to care for the people that are particularly in need, and those with COVID. So
that's remarkable. I mean, it really is remarkable, because you think through the thrift shop that you wouldn't raise that much money, but apparently that's a good vehicle for you to do that, in addition to your partners. And earlier this year, there was a huge donation to the hospital, $100,000. Tell me about that, please.
Yes, we pledge money. Usually it's about $1 million. Every few years we make a pledge. And before I tell you about our pledge, or sorry, our donation this year, we have given so much money to the hospital. We built the TWIG Pavilion, which has our name on it, and we even have our own TWIGs that purchased hospital rooms in the TWIG Pavilion. We also built the post-surgical center at Inova Alexandria, so it's called the TWIG Surgical Center. And then most recently, which is our current pledge, we have a pledge of $1 million to give for the cardiovascular intensive care unit. And in fact, that has already been completed. They restored that unit, and again, it has the TWIG name, so we're so excited. But this year, we know that COVID-19 was difficult, and it was a difficult time for giving, but the hospital came to us and said there was a great need for medical equipment, PRP, for nursing staff, increasing the staff. So we decided that instead of using that money for a project like a unit in the hospital, that we would totally support the Emergency Preparedness Fund, and it was dedicated just to Inova Alexandria Hospital. So we're very proud of that. And I'm not sure if you see the picture on the screen, but we gave the check that day. And, it was so heartwarming, Gina, because when you give that kind of money, you feel like all that you do, all that we raise money for is going for this great cause. And it's going back to the community, which is really what's important.
Well, a response to something that affects everyone has really touched our communities, and that donation and the care with which you gave it really, again, speaks very highly of your organization. Now, I want to know more about the cookbook. I talked about it earlier, but would I be able to contribute a recipe? How does that work?
Oh, Gina, are you a cook? That would be
I'm really more of an eater, but, I'm really interested in food.
Well, in fact, TWIG has published 5 cookbooks over the years. And we are pleased to tell you that our recent cookbook, the most recent one, is called Alexandria Favorite Restaurants' Best Recipes.
Oh.
And it includes restaurant recipes. And it's a limited edition, Gina, so we only have a few left. But as my gift to you for allowing me to appear tonight, I will provide you a TWIG cookbook. But, it was a great fundraising source over the years, and we still have a few left. But it's a way for people to, and many over the years, many of the recipes were from TWIGs, but the most recent one was from restaurants. And we're supporting restaurants even still.
Oh, that's fantastic. So the restaurants in Alexandria, and where can people, I know you said you only have a few left, but can they get that through your website?
Yes, there is a link on our website, thetwig.org, and there is a tab that says cookbook. They can buy it through there, through PayPal and our online site. Or you could come into the thrift shop at 106 North Columbus Street, and we do have them here at the desk. They're $20. And so it's quite affordable. And it's a wonderful gift, too, for the holidays and for a hostess gift and teachers' gifts and things like that. So we really are proud of our cookbooks. And I'm happy to give you one, Gina.
No, I insist I will pay for it. But I think that's a really great fundraising vehicle. Thank you so much. I always wonder about organizations like the TWIG and the people who put so much time into it. What is the team like? I mean, how many, I know it's a women's organization and that you're not against having men in the organization, but it's really kind of geared toward having women. And what does it take to be a volunteer? What kind of people have been involved in helping with your fundraising and volunteering, like as the docents in the houses and stuff? Tell me about the team.
Yeah, of course. I am so passionate about being a TWIG. And in fact, Gina, when I first moved to Alexandria, I knew no one. My husband was transferred here to the DC area. And I was invited to a coffee. We grow our membership by private events like coffees and receptions where we can meet each other. So, and when I first moved here in 1994, I was very anxious to meet other women, like-minded women. My mother was an extremely charitable person and volunteered all the time. And so I had that volunteer spirit as well. So I went to the coffee. I was invited to join TWIG. and I met the most magnificent women. And to this day, I will have served 25 years as an active TWIG in June. So I'm very, very proud of that. But
you're a past president even. You ran the organization for a while.
I did. I ran the organization in 2007 and 8, and also have served on almost every committee, except I have never been treasurer, and that's probably because I'm giving away the cookbooks. So,
okay, we've got that settled now. So
it's been fantastic. I can't say enough about it. We have such a friendship and a bonding, and it's so nice to have other women. And we have all age groups. I must tell you a quick story though about a man that wanted to join TWIG. He came into the thrift shop one day and said, "I am a man. I would like to join TWIG. You're discriminating or not allowing me to join." And I think one of our other TWIGs said, "Sir, if you'd like to be in a women's organization, 182 women with all being women, that's fine. You're welcome to it." And of course, he couldn't leave the door fast enough. He didn't realize that we were all women, but we are a group of dedicated women. And in fact, we have had over the years 1,500 volunteers within the TWIG organization. So that's a lot. That's a tremendous amount. So I'm so proud of my time at TWIG, and I know I share the same emotion with our other TWIGs out there who are watching tonight.
I love that you're called TWIGs. That's a really great, it's such a cute name, but it's a really important name. So for people who may be watching, I donate money here and there to different things, but I don't have a lot of money to donate. That's how I feel, So how would you encourage people to donate even $5? What is the mindset that it takes to say, gee, that organization sounds great. I want to send some money, but I really don't want to be embarrassed about sending $5. How should people feel about sending whatever they can?
Right. And no amount is too small for us. We have, as you can see, we receive donated items for the thrift shop. We receive support through our different events that we are able to host. But really, it's about the word together. And that is the first word in our campaign, together. So it's a combination of monies that make it that whole opportunity for us to donate. So it's not just $5 leads to 5 more and 5 thereafter. And it doesn't matter for any amount. You can just go on the TWIG website. It's thetwig.org/donate and donate any amount. There's $50 all the way up to $10,000. So it doesn't have to be helpful. So we're just happy that that amount is. It all works together.
Yeah.
We work together.
Okay, well, that makes me feel better. I could probably give a little more than 5, but I think I'd like to go to the thrift shop and kind of put some money get something to wear the next day to a party. So, well, there's no parties.
Thank you for your support. Shopping is always a good thing.
Yeah, it sure is. So what's coming up for the TWIG? You've got this Together We Ignite Giving, which is a great name, and you've got partners. Are you looking for more partners? Will this campaign end after Christmas, or how long will this campaign go on?
Well, thank you for asking that question, Gina, because we've been asked that a few times. It's an ongoing campaign. It's the very first of a donation campaign that TWIG has ever had before. We've had these fundraising events, but this is a true campaign, and it's annual giving. You can give one time right now. You can give in January or even next year or 2022 and ongoing. Our president, Candace Bean, has promised that this campaign will continue throughout the life of TWIG, provided we receive the support we'd like, because we're taking the donations and giving it back to the community and our local hospital. And that's what we're doing with the money that we raise. We're committed. That's our mission, and that's our purpose. So we certainly appreciate all partners. And there are some partner benefits in the program, too. So if you're a business and you're looking for advertising in the homes tour, if you'd like a private shopping night here at the TWIG for your employees or your friends, Gina, you can invite 20 of your closest friends. You have a private shopping night. So there will be recognition. We know that companies businesses want recognition and they want to share their show of support. So we have the program is designed of which there are benefits to them for corporate businesses and companies.
Do you think at some point in 2021 you might revive your dog show fundraiser or something like that, maybe? Because everybody loves dogs, and they canceled the Scottish Walk this year, which is so sad. But what do you think about that idea? I'm happy to help.
I would have to say I'm glad I'm the fundraising chair, but not chair of the dog show. So I think that we'll put that out to our committee. We have a strong board of directors. We'll see what they have to say about that, and I'll get back to you on that, Gina.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, we've talked about so many things. What did we miss? What do people need to know about the TWIG that we haven't talked about tonight?
Well, I think we've talked about most things, Gina. I just wanted to tell you, too, that one important thing that I wanted to talk about tonight was that our first donation to the hospital was a $250 donation that we gave for a microscope.
Wow.
In the 1930s. I mean, in one time we bought a centrifuge for $120. We bought an isotron machine, which detects cancer. So I want to share the story that TWIG is not just about, that we give, we receive the donations, we receive the monies, but we are, whether small or large. In 1937, we bought a microscope for $250. In 2020, we gave $100,000 to the COVID-19 Emergency Preparedness Fund. So it comes full circle. And, TWIG, we will be around for a long time. And we really appreciate the support of our community. And thank you, Gina, and Mary Wadlin, and Susan Flashman, all the team at the Zebra. You guys are fantastic. And, Lucelle O'Flaherty, who is a friend, is the photographer of the year. She is everywhere in Alexandria. So a shout out to Lucelle. And just know that we're happy that you guys are partners with us. We do feature articles in the Zebra, and having this opportunity to be on ZTV, it means a great deal. So thank you.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking with you. Before and during the show, and hopefully after, I will see you as well. And now that you bring up the Zebra, I wanted to let our viewers know that the December issue will be out in those little nice red boxes around Old Town on Monday, December 7th. So that's when they hit the street. So be sure to pick up your copy for great reading all through the month of December until the January issue comes out, and patronize the advertisers because they're the ones who keep this going. That's the most important thing. I also wanted to mention that we have a great lineup on ZTV for next week, starting on Monday with Living on Music with Steve Hauk. His guest is Chuck Sullivan, and then it goes from there. It's going to be a great week. I'd also like to mention once again the ways that you can donate to the TWIG. I think that the website address is up on the screen under Anita's photo, under her image. And it's thetrip.org/donate. Or just go to the website. You can see some of the history there. You can learn about the leadership of the TWIG and a whole bunch of other stuff, the charities that they donate to, which are many that you'd be surprised. So the TWIG is definitely a pillar in our community here in Alexandria. And Anita, thank you so much for taking the time. I can't wait to go to the store. I'm looking at the image of you in the store right now and that nice jacket behind you.
Nice. We have lots of those. We have lots of those at affordable prices too.
Yeah, affordable prices. So thank you, and thank you to our viewers for tuning in. Be sure to tune in next week. And in the meantime, I will close by saying, remember